Hello everyone, and welcome to Misfit Corner Comics Presents. This is the artist Andrew, and today we are live streaming. You know, there is going to come a day, sometime very soon, where I'll have all my crap together, and I will not only live stream on time, but I will also have everything ready to go. But today is not that day. So, needless to say. Alright. Yeah, I know. I know. How's it going, Avery? Oh, I had a car issue this morning, a van issue this morning that I kind of had to deal with this evening before it got dark, or else I was going to be screwed in the morning. But I'll tell you all about that in just a minute. Oh, let's see, where was I? Get out the little black book. Yeah, I know. I should be fired. But, so this morning, I got up to get ready to go to work. It's about 3:30, and I go outside and I turn on the van, and I turn on the headlights, and nothing happens. So I go, oh crap, I don't have any headlights. So I pop the hood, I go and I look, and there are the headlights. There's a plastic thing that twists onto the bulb housing. You know, I know this is a great description, but the plastic pieces have broken so that there's nothing holding the light bulb into where it's supposed to, so they're not held in properly. And the right side, the light bulb was just popped out and it was all bright, and the other side, it was smashed to pieces. It's like, well, crap. So even in the worst case scenario, I was only going to have one headlight this morning. So I went ahead and went back into the house, grabbed Mike's car keys, and I borrowed his car. But I knew I needed to replace the light bulb, and I needed to find some way to affix the bulb so that it wouldn't move. And Jennifer had some heavy-duty wire, you know, that you can wrap. So what I did is I just wrapped it around the casing of the bulb and the wire, and then affixed it to like the undercarriage of the van in order to keep the bulb in place. Excuse me. And both bulbs work fine. And when I turned on the car and I turned on the lights shone just like they should. But I needed to make sure I had it set up so that when I wake up in the morning, I can just jump in the van and go to work and not have to deal with the situation again. Granted, Mike, I don't think he goes to work till like 5 tomorrow. So wouldn't it be a big deal if I borrowed his car again? I just hate doing that to the kid. But, hold on a second. Alright, so where were we? There is one panel that I still need to draw for chapter 15. I also I got a whole crap load of stuff I need to work on. It's just a matter of putting everything in front of me. But I was at the doctor's office the other day and worked on some layouts for chapter 16, and I'm always drawing them all different ways. There's 2 new characters that we'll be introducing, like on page 80 and 81. One of them is a fox, and the other is a dog. I've designed both of them before, but I need to kind of give them an update, so I may work on that this evening. Or I may work on that panel that I need to finish for chapter 15. I got so much stuff to do, I don't know what I'm going to do, but... Oh. And I have those blank sketch covers, Captain America and Daredevil, which I still haven't read the issues, so can't do a review of that just yet because, well, got to read them in order to do a review of them. Let's see what we got. Oh, and I'm going to do I'm planning on doing a special cover for Volume 1 for a little lady that you and I both know who has a first birthday coming up the end of this month. I need to do that cover design. Oh, just got a lot of stuff to do. I don't know where to start. Well, you know what? Let me see if I can... First thing I'm going to do is see if I can print out that reference. Man, I'm tired. I still have not gotten used to this schedule, but tomorrow is day 5 of my 5 straight days of working. And oh no, that's the wrong one. Oh no. I know this makes for great live stream. There we go. But image crop. As I was saying, today or tomorrow will be my 5th day in a row working this week, and I'm exhausted. I'm looking forward to a day off, which will be Sunday. Let's see here, edit, undo, step backwards, image, all right. That way I can do that. Well, I'm looking forward. The Daredevil is Ron Garney, and the Captain America is Chris Samney. So, I mean, there's going to be really great art in there. But you're right, reading them is not necessarily, important. I know a couple other people have already done reviews of them. This is the layout that I was going to be working on. Where, oh where is my scissors? I'm going to read them. I'm going to read them so I can review them. But I'm definitely looking forward to checking out the art, which, of course, will probably be the best thing about the issue, about the issues. That's kind of why I was really disappointed with that Immortal Man #1, the Jim Lee thing. I at least hoped I was going to get some good art out of there, and it was really not great, Jim Lee art, which really stunk. So I have to use this. I mean, it didn't stink, it just wasn't great. Oh, come on, an X-Acto blade that won't even cut paper? How bad is that? Alright. I read that Spider-Man issue that I got that had Stuart Immonen's art. This issue. This is the 2 issues away from the big 800th issue. This is 798. The story was... I will say this. It redeemed itself in the end. The story got much better in the end. But when it started out, it was really ugh. Oh, excellent, excellent. Was that just a regular sketch, or was that a sketch cover sketch? I don't think you did a sketch cover sketch, huh? For Moon Knight. Right, I don't need that. And Andrew said, "Let there be light." All right, turned on light in the room. I don't think it makes a difference, but all right. Guys, I'm going to get it together eventually here. I just know it. It'll happen eventually. You know what I might do? You know what? I'm going to cheat and show you guys some of the process. I don't know. I thought there was a Moon Knight blank sketch cover, but maybe not. This is my little portable light table that a good friend of mine bought for me many, many years ago, which was a piece of crap and didn't work properly, and I had to tear it apart. And oh, you know what? I don't know if this is going to fit. I think I need to use a larger piece of paper. Where is... oh, right here next to me. Hot damn. God, there are times in my life when things are right where they need to be. Does not happen always, but sometimes it does. Alright. You know what? Now that I think about it, I need to turn off the overhead light. I'm so glad you guys are here for all of this. I don't know. I thought there was a blank sketch cover for Moon Knight. There might not have been, but that's okay. Alright. What I'm going to do is just use my light table really quick. And just sketch out this page real quick. So you guys get the full behind the scenes look of how this stuff is done. Avery's like, "I already know how to do crap like this. Do something else. Do something better." Alright. I was going to say which part, but I guess if you weren't listening, then. Or you were listening, you were just being sarcastic. I swear to God, there needs to be an Avery Butterworth, Andrew Charper, movie review, YouTube channel. We are very much yin and yang when it comes to movies and what we think is good and bad and ugly, and I think we'd make a funny channel. But then again, as you've said numerous times, I'm not funny, which I think that could be funny if, you know, maybe not. Alright. Hey, we could do it. We could make it happen. Our first review would be of Star Wars, The Last Jedi, and I could tell people how much I loved it. And you can tell everybody how much you hated it. Personally, I think you should do a kind of a mocking channel. But we should keep that quiet because that might actually happen sooner or later. Where is my glove? Oh wait, it's in my pocket. All right, here we go. All right. Oh, all right. To be quite honest with you, this panel is actually important. It's one that I actually need to do. So, which one? The review, the movie review with me, or the mocking review one? Which one of those two would you do? Or would you do both? Ooh, both. Because you know I have lots of movies that we could review. Oh, you know what? I forgot to hit the magic start recording button. Okay. I tried to convince Jason to do something for my channel. He's the one thing that he collects besides Star Wars. He likes pop figures, and I told him we could do like a whole pop, figure session where whenever there's news about pops coming out, you could do like an interview type thing where you tell us what you found out and tell us your thoughts and opinions and so forth. And he's like, "Nah, man, I don't want to get in front of the camera." And I said, "You don't have to, but okay, that works for me." We should actually go to a movie and then tell people what we thought about it. There's a movie coming up really, really soon that would work out well for that. Oh, actually, Michael called us last night. He was getting off work. He had actually got off work early. He went in for some type of training session or whatever, and they scheduled him for like 3 hours to do it, and he got done in less than 2 hours. And he called me and he said, "Hey, Dad, I'm done with the training." And I said, "Yeah." He says, "I'm going to stay for a movie." I said, "Oh, really? What are you going to see?" He says, "There's a showing of Rampage in 15 minutes, so I'm going to go see that." And I'm like, "Excellent, excellent." And I asked him afterwards what he thought of the movie, and he said he really enjoyed it. And I said, "Now, most likely you're going to see it again with me or with Mom." He said, "That's fine." He said it was enjoyable enough that if he has to see it 2 more times, once for each of us, he's more than willing to. I said, "Damn, that means it's got to be a fun movie." And he enjoyed it. So, I mean, we won't talk about it too much because I don't want to spoil it for Avery, because I know The Rock is like one of Avery's all-time favorite actors, and to see him dealing with super huge monsters is like a dream come true for Avery, right? But we should do a review. We should go see and then do a review of Star Wars. Actually, yeah, I know. Actually, Avengers: Infinity War opens up before Star Wars, so we should go see that one first, and then we'll do Star Wars. No, wait a minute. It's Avengers: Infinity War on April 27th. Then it's Deadpool 2 on May 14th, I think, and then it's Star Wars Solo on May 25th. So, I mean, we don't have to go, we don't have to review just, geek culture, Star Wars, and Avengers, and all that, but those are the kind of movies that you're either going to love them or you're going to hate them, and I honestly can... Avery says he doesn't need to see the movies to review them. That should be one of the stipulations, man. You have to go see the movie. You have to sit through it. You know, Mike can get you in for free, so you're not going to waste any money. No. There's no. I mean, I know time is money for artists, so you are going to lose time, but you never know. You might come out of one of these things. Sorry, I was going to say inspired. That's so not going to happen, and you know it, and I know it. I just think that's funny. Oh, I was thinking today while I was at work. I was thinking about our Cornerstone project idea, and I have an idea for a story. Um, we'll introduce some new characters that may or may not be, necessarily important going on. They're characters that I mean, there's the three main characters. There's Venus, there's Cortez, and there's Ricky. But then I thought about what if there are almost like a GI Joe type of roster of characters that you can bring in depending on the situation. Um, like a police force would actually have, like SWAT team members and K9 members and bomb disposal guys, and they have all different types of people for all different types of things. But in Cornerstone, because you're dealing with the supernatural, when you're dealing with, let's say, like you have a zombie issue, like there's a zombie thing going on, you have to bring in somebody who is an expert, so to say, on zombies. And the origins of zombies in Cornerstone have to do with voodoo. So there would be so the character would be most likely like a voodoo princess type of person, a sorceress, and she's gorgeous as well as scary at the same time type of thing. Ricky 17. That's his name. That's his actual name is Ricky 17. And I started thinking about that, so I've got an idea for a character, because the story that I've got an idea for includes zombies, or I should say a zombie. Because one of the things early on I established with zombies in the world of Cornerstone is that the newly dead still retain memories as well as human characteristics, and after a certain amount of time, I never established the exact time. I think for this particular story it'll be like 24 hours. After 24 hours, a dead person who's been zombified, come back as a zombie, starts to lose and becomes the brains, I want to eat your brains type of zombie. So for the first 24 hours, they actually are still human. They still retain their knowledge and their memories and so forth. And the idea behind zombies in Cornerstone is that it was a voodoo practitioner who, if somebody had recently passed, you could bring them back to life for a short amount of time. But then, of course, you lose control of the person and they become the brain, I want to eat your brains type of creature. And at that point, they are legally dead. And based on the laws of Cornerstone City, if you're legally dead, then it's not murder if they kill you again. I've got to look up some like legalese on a verbiage that the police can use once they've identified somebody who has stepped over that that time threshold and is no longer technically living again. And I got an idea for how to end part of the story in which once the zombified character that they're dealing with turns into a zombie, that Cortez is able to go, okay, now that you have passed on and now you're all the brains, the brain wanting brains type of zombie, then he can dispatch you legally. But it's just like reading somebody their Miranda rights when you arrest them. You know, you have to inform them of their rights and so forth in order to legally kill a zombie that has reached that point. There's like a legalese that you have to inform them of, and I've got to look into it and actually come up with an idea and write it up. But you know, you don't want the surviving family of the person to sue the city because they killed the zombie. It's like, well, he's technically dead, so it's okay to kill him. Once they get to that point where the brains they're no longer legally viable to live normal human lives, so therefore they are literally a subclass of human, and that's part of this. That's one of the parts of the story. And once I plot it out, you know, beginning and end, and everything that goes in between, Avery and I will sit down. We'll talk about it. We'll see if it's anywhere near anything he's willing to draw and willing to do. I think he'll like it. I think he'll enjoy it. But we'll see. He's so fickle. But I do have a pretty cool. I have some twists that I've already come up with. One of these, there'll be this oh crap moment. I almost said the curse word. There'll be an oh crap moment where you go, oh damn, you didn't see that coming. Well, to be honest with you, Avery would probably say, yeah, I saw that coming. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. There's at least two so far that I know are new. One's one's like a voodoo goddess, and the other's a witch. Though it's Ricky, Venus, Cortez, and then these two others, and if you want to design them, I will give you an idea. I'll write up a little bit about their personalities and what their gifts are and what they do for the police. Because the witch girl is a member of the police, because she's one that I actually came up with before and just had never introduced her yet. She's kind of like a rookie police officer. So her character will be a reoccurring character. The voodoo woman, probably not. She probably won't be back, at least not unless you know, the story really dictates, because part of what she does for the police is not something that she enjoys doing. So it has to do with what was that TV show where the lady could see the future and she could tell you the past, and what was the name? Medium, that's it. Well, this voodoo woman is very much a medium of sorts, and when she's asked to get involved with the police and to help them not necessarily solve crimes, but you know, identify stuff, it's not a pretty process. It's not something, it takes a toll on her every time she does it. But the story that I have takes place, actually, I want you to redesign Ricky. One of the thoughts I had was that because this is an earlier stage of Ricky, he's not completely fleshed out. In other words, he's more being built. He's in the process of still being built. So take that for what you may. Um, I actually have a story point where they're having to deal with a small child, and Ricky is not pretty to look at, I should say, and he's very much looks like the monster um, that he's supposed to be. You know, in my story where the story that I did the 2 graphic novels for, he looks very human, and that's because he's kind of been finished is a good word. The creature has been, if he's based on a Frankenstein monster, he's he's the final version of the monster. But in this particular story, he's, I wouldn't say far from being complete, but he definitely needs work. So I mean, I imagine, you know, like part of a face missing, you know, more robotic stuff intermingled with all. So you could, I say, make who built Ricky a mystery, and even he doesn't know who made him from when. Well, I know who made him, and that is actually something that I'm willing to change story wise. Originally, in the first graphic novel, you were introduced to a character who's supposed to be like the mad scientist of the group, but he's a kid. He's like a 13-year-old kid, and his name's Adam, and he's the one that actually created and built Ricky. But I'm willing to be a little looser on that because he really wasn't super important in the storylines. He was mainly just there. So we can definitely go back and forth and discuss different things, but that we might be able to work out something like that. But I one of the things you and I discussed, Avery, the other day in joking was to cater to certain individuals by doing stuff we probably normally wouldn't do, like especially putting in like a pink-haired girl and all. One of the things I want, that I imagine with the voodoo princess character, is that she's not attractive at all. She's very, I wouldn't say ugly. She might be disfigured or something, or she's got something like scarred. She's very scarred. That's a best way to put it, because tapping into the powers that she uses are very much evil in nature. Yeah, I gotcha. And one of the ideas I had is when she's having to deal with this child, and there's a child in the story, and that's part of the plot line. When she's introduced, she's, you know, like this horribly scarred individual, but she's got like some type of funky hair, and the child isn't scared of her because she likes her hair, and it's very much a child's perspective is kind of what I want to go for here. This is I really need to sit down and write it all out, share it with you, talk about it, and get your input. But I think it would be cool, and it would work. And you know, it's one of these things that, damn it, man, you have sparked something in me. You've sparked something in my imagination, and I may not be able to throw it away as easy as I would something else. You know? I've always wanted to get back to Cornerstone, but honestly, I felt it was something that I had to do. It was something that I worked on for a very long period of time, and it was something that I had to complete. And then when I finished the first book, I went right into the second book because, that's just the way I am. I don't generally tend to stop, just keep going. And actually, that is so untrue. That is the most untrue statement I've ever said. I've been well known for finishing something and stopping and then going in another direction. I think Hero is the first thing I've ever worked on in my life where once I finished anything with it, I immediately started on the next piece and continued it. You know, I've done I think it's over 400 pages of Hero so far. Yeah, I think page 50 of book 3 was the 400th page of Hero. And that's unusual for me. So, talking out my butt. Okay, that works for me. That works for me. NYPD Blues meets Dark Shadows. Very much so. Very much so. One of the things, Avery, I'll have to admit this to you. I know we talked briefly about the idea, and you said, this doesn't have to be hardcore adult. It could be PG-13, and when I originally started thinking about it, I was thinking hardcore adult, and I came up with this particular scene, this introductory scene, that I added way too much bad language and references and all, and I said, I can pull this back and make it, appeasable to more people, and I think I think I should be able to easily do that. And I changed a little bit about the story in my head. As I said, I'm just working on this stuff in my head so far, and we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, actually, if you want to do redesigns of all the characters, I'm more than happy to let you do it. One of the things I like to do especially when I collect sketches from other artists, is I don't necessarily want you to draw my characters the way I draw them. I want to see your interpretation of my characters, and sometimes that inspires, and sometimes it makes me go, oh, that is, it's very cool to see other people's interpretations of my characters. I've gotten some sketches of Hero that just blew me away when I saw them, and they very, very much inspired. Hell, the very first commission that I got of Hero was from Harold, and he just blew me away with his. And what's so funny is he was only looking at that very first pinup I did, so his drawing that he did for me, which I think is still one of the better ones I have, was based on just one pinup, and that's crazy. But, he just did an awesome job with it. Believe it or not, no, I have not. I am not familiar with the original Dark Shadows. I am familiar with the Johnny Depp movie, which I understand that should immediately disqualify me from discussing it at all. The Tim Burton, Johnny Depp version of the show made into a movie, which I liked maybe 30% of that movie. There was something totally missing from it, and that was the funny. And the previews had some funny type aspects to it, but the movie, no funny at all. There was very few one-liners. There was very few. It was played just really bad, and I think that's one of the reasons why it failed so bad and didn't become the franchise they wanted it. They were looking into making it, and actually I own that one. I don't know if I have it on my Voodoo or not, but that's definitely one you and I could review. And this is where Avery quits the chat and says, "That's it. I'm done with this idiot." I don't know. Did you ever see that movie? Okay, I hear you. I understand. I will definitely look into that. My dad was actually a fan of the TV show Dark Shadows, but I didn't know that until much later. We were talking about movies and TV shows one day, and I was like, "I never knew that, Dad." And he said, "Yeah, he was Barnabas Collins. He thought he was a pretty cool character." I think if I told him my only reference for the character is Johnny Depp, he'd probably cry. Well, it was a Tim Burton movie. I mean, it wasn't. I keep wanting to say it wasn't horrible, but there were parts of it that really were horrible. You know, I really there's some things about it I can't defend, no matter how hard I try, and I really shouldn't. I do own it. I did see it in the theater. Actually, I saw it with Jennifer. Um, I do own the movie. I probably bought it at a Black Friday sale for like $5 or something like that because I wouldn't have paid full price for it, even after seeing it in the theater and so forth. So, but it was never released on steel in a steelbook case, so that's not why I bought it. You know, much like the Fantastic Four movie, the only reason why I bought it is because of the steelbook case. And I know that's a really sick reason to buy any movie, but especially one as bad as that. Well, that's exactly what Cornerstone was supposed to be. It was very much supposed to be a cop drama with a supernatural, bent. You know, the supernatural was very much an important part of it, but it was more of the character drama that was also important. You know? It's one of the reasons why Cortez, the werewolf character, is one of my favorites, is because he's very much a he's very much a character. What's the best way to put that? He's very much a character. He's very much somebody you would recognize his character as someone you knew in real life because he's a horn dog and so forth, and is always hitting on the ladies, and everybody has a friend who's like that. Very charismatic, almost to the point where you're disgusted by him. This dragon that I'm drawing today, he's not dead, he's just asleep. Because guess what? In the final act of book 3, he wakes up. He comes alive again. I'm so looking forward to drawing parts of this story that I want to. I'm literally taking artistic leaps with some of the storytelling for this particular chapter. A lot of what I've drawn for Hero so far has been fairly safe. I haven't taken a lot of artistic leaps and challenges. I haven't tried to rewrite the genre, so to say. I haven't tried to do something with it that would make people go, "Oh my God, that's incredibly cool." And it's just been very straightforward, fun type of story, and that goes for the art as well. But with this book, I'm moving into another step, another I guess the easiest way to say it is another challenge for myself. Whether or not I actually pull it off, that's going to be a whole nother thing. But in part of the story, I'll go ahead and tell you and nobody else. Don't tell anybody else. But in part of the story, the city that hero is going to is actually built on top of the sleeping dragon. They thought, for some reason, people in this place, this world, this time thought that was the best way to keep it secure. And I have this scene in my mind where the dragon wakes up and he's coming up off the ground, and the city is just, parts of the city are just crumbling all around him, and pieces of building and all are just falling off of his face, and he comes out, and it's very much like a Godzilla type of scene where he roars, and I'm looking forward to drawing that. That's something that I've never, that's, like I said, it's a challenge to me to draw the scene, the story, the whole book has been a bit of a challenge because I've done a lot of new things, and I'm just so looking forward to that. And I will either pull it off or I will fail miserably, but I'm going to try. I really hope Jason had jumped onto the live stream. I was going to ask him if he had any luck finding new Star Wars toys. Supposedly, today was supposed to be the release of the next batch of Star Wars toys, with the toys based on the Solo movie. And Mike and we went to Target and Walmart and didn't find crap. Oh, really? Ugh. God, I hate this sometimes. I don't know if it's my internet or if it's OBS or YouTube, but it could be a bit of both. But I actually, we went out looking for stuff with the intent of making a video, but our video was pretty much, and look, nothing. We found nothing. We found nothing, and it was boring. So we're going to try again this weekend and see if we can find more stuff, but we were hoping to find at least the Legos, and nope, didn't find anything. Actually, that isn't true. We did find some of the Black series, which are the more detailed toys. But for the Solo movie, we only found like 3. They released some other characters, like they released a Rey and a Kylo Ren and a Death Star, a Gunner. It's like, that has nothing to do with Solo, but okay. And we found some of those, and yeah, they're nice, but I'm not spending the amount of money they want for that. Nope. They didn't have any action figures. They didn't have anything else. So I had actually heard that it was supposed to be almost like another Force Friday thing, where they did with the other movies, where they actually made it into a big deal. It was an event type of thing. Nope. I'm guessing a lot of stores were not interested. I guess it really shouldn't surprise me, but we were hoping to find at least Legos. Granted, we probably weren't going to buy any. I know Mike's still a couple of days. Actually, I think I don't remember when he said his next paycheck was, but that's one of those things. He's a very responsible kid, so he's not going to go out and buy up a whole bunch of stuff unless he's got some, extra fundage. Yeah, I know that's what they say, Avery, but I personally think they're going to turn it around. I know a lot of people think it's dead or dying, but I think they have an opportunity to turn it around, and I think that's going to start with this new movie. Even though a lot of people are thinking this is going to be crap, I have a little bit of high hope. Now, I do plan to go into this movie when I go see it, probably with Michael. Try not to get too hopeful, but I think it's going to be fun. I want it to be fun, I want it to be entertaining, and I think it's going to be both those things. Yep, I know. Avery's like, nope. Yeah, but the best thing is they can't take away our enjoyment of the things of the past, though, no matter what they do with the future. Sam Raimi can't release a new Evil Dead movie and have it utterly suck, and then that destroys the entire franchise for you. Because I know the second Evil Dead or the third Evil Dead, I don't remember which one, I don't follow it, are like some of your all-time favorites. That's never going to change, no matter what they do. At least that's my opinion. I think that you always have the stuff that you enjoyed, and that's never going to change. That's never going to go away. I hope. Oh, I know. But there's going to come a time where one of my kids are going to have children, and I'm going to get to sit down with my granddaughter or grandson, and I'm going to introduce them to the original Star Wars, The New Hope, and I'm going to be able to say this is cool, and they're going to love it. They're going to love it thoroughly. That's one of the reasons why I think Todd and Melissa are going to do really well with Julia, is that they have a love for graphic novels and comics and art and movies and all that they're going to be able to pass on. Even though Melissa's a Star Trek fan, Julia's going to probably think Star Trek is better than Star Wars. But I can't think about that. What if they, in the theaters, they did a movie marathon where they brought back the original as they were originally released, and did like a huge movie marathon for all the people that liked Star Wars from the old days? Would you're saying nope, you wouldn't even do that? I would definitely do that. Heck, I'd go see episodes 2 and 3 on the big screen again if the opportunity arose. Actually, Mike and I and Ayla went and saw episode 1 when they re-released it in 3D, and that's when I realized, having not seen it in so long, how really bad it was. There were parts that were really cool, but there were parts that were, cringe-worthy. Cringe. Especially the dialogue and so forth, but we had the opportunity to see it on the big screen, and that was cool. There's some things that are better on the big screen. All right, okay, I hear you. And Ayla and I went and saw when they re-released for a limited time The Lion King on the big screen in 3D. We went and saw that because that was pretty cool. That Lion King is one of those Disney movies that you really have to see on the big screen. I remember, I don't know if you ever saw it on the big screen or not, Avery, but I remember seeing it Regency, and the walls literally shook when Mufasa spoke. When James Earl Jones said anything, the theater literally shook with the sound of his voice, and that's something you really can't experience even with a really good home theater. That's something that that being in the movie theater was, you know. There's a couple of movies that I think you have to see in the theater to get the full effect of the movie. Another one would be James Cameron's Avatar. Whether you liked it or hated it, seeing it in the theater was really cool, especially in like an IMAX 3D theater. When that movie came out, my father-in-law went to go see it, and he really, really, really enjoyed it. But he saw it in standard definitions, not the 3D. And so he invited Jen and I and the kids to see it with them a second time. But this time he wanted to see it in 3D and did not regret it. He said, "I'm going to pay the extra money so that we can see this the way you're supposed to see it." And it was very, very cool. That's not something back then that we normally would do because, cost of tickets is so much. We're not going to spend $15, $20 on a ticket for the wife and I and the kids to go see a movie, but he said he liked it so much, he enjoyed it to the point where he says, "Let's go see it the way it was intended to be seen," and that was really cool. And supposedly they're working on a new one, so I look forward to that. Actually, there's a lot of movies out that are coming out that I look forward to seeing. Alright, I gotta move the headphones a little bit. It might change how you guys hear me, but my headphones can often become very uncomfortable. I don't have any of the the padding. Avery says he's looking forward to hating them. Hey, that's fine. The one movie that's coming out that I want to see that I don't think is going to be good is and I hope I'm wrong, is the new Deadpool movie. I was never really a huge Deadpool fan, and I enjoyed the first movie. I enjoyed it a lot. I thought they captured the character, and it was funny and it was entertaining. But I'm not a big X-Force fan, and I think part of me thinks they're gonna play that up for cheese. They're gonna say ho ho ho, and a lot of it's just gonna be done bad. I'm not a huge fan of the redesign of Domino. I mean, I don't care if they use a black girl or not. That's perfectly fine. But she's got a white face with a black dot, not the other way around. That's just not the character. But we'll see. I think that's a lot of Hollywood changing stuff to be changing stuff, which I think is sad. Avery, I know this is not something that's on your radar. But have you seen any of those pictures from the Teen Titans, or I think they're just calling it Titans? I'm not sure if it's a TV show or a movie. I'll have to look into it. But they have Raven, Beast Boy, and Starfire, and the actors and actresses playing those characters, and it looks really bad. Oh, like really, really bad. And of course, the images of the actors may be, prior to, way, way, way prior to all the additional visual effects that they might add on to the scenes and all. But if they're anything close to what they've shown in these stills that they put out, oh, just not good. Not good at all. That is hilarious. But you're not a fan of the Teen Titans. I don't think in any incarnation, right? I don't think that was ever one of your. That was never one of the ones you. I personally liked the Dan Jurgens, George Perez ones, where it was the whole new team. It was Risk and Prism and what was some of the other characters' names? Oh, I forgot already. But I personally like that version of the Teen Titans. But that was one of those short-lived versions. Most of those characters. Argent was one of them. I enjoyed that comic series when they relaunched it. But oh well. Well, that right there describes Hollywood, Avery. You know what I mean? Actually, did I ever tell you the story? I probably didn't. When I did the first volume of Cornerstone, I got contacted by a guy out in California about representing me to pitch the idea to different studios. And it wasn't going to cost me anything. It's like, go ahead and see what happens. And he came back. There was a studio that was interested, but they wanted to do animation, which, that's fine by me. And they wanted to set it in a high school. And they did a pitch idea for the characters. It was very much a Harry Potter type of high school, but with monsters. I don't know. I seriously doubt it was something that like Monster High, which is like that doll line based on. I don't think somebody took it and did something else with it, but yeah, Cornerstone could have been the inspiration for a toy line. Nope, I don't think so. But I was all for it. I was like, yeah, sure. If they want to do that, if they want to take my idea and do it as something, but the pitch idea that they gave me, which I was all right with, I was cool with, but they never picked it up, was so different from what my storylines and my characters were. But that's, like I said, that's Hollywood taking an idea and changing it. I think it would have been cool to see, but it never happened. It never happened. Would have been cool, but yeah. I gotta try to remember to keep an eye on the camera because I keep moving the page to the point where I'm not sure if it's on camera or not. All right. Well, I know I haven't been drawing for a whole hour because I started late, but I've been streaming for over an hour, so I'm getting close to being done here. So Avery, when are you gonna do your next live stream? You gonna schedule it? Give me an idea so I can make sure I join and get to make fun of you and. I'm gonna make a list of all your favorite movies. No, I'm gonna make a list of all your favorite remakes. Because I know how much you like remakes of movies. You know what I think your #1 remake would have to be? Annie. Remember when they remade Annie with Jamie Foxx? I know I don't own that one. It's not in my Voodoo library, but I bet you, of all the remakes that were out there, that's probably one of your favorites. You did one today? Well, damn, I must have... obviously I missed it. I didn't know you did one today, but damn it. I'll go look for it later. Okay, well, I work tomorrow, and I believe I'm off Sunday, so I'm going to sleep in Sunday. But I'm not going to do my next live stream at least till Monday. I like sticking to the schedule. It's just so much easier. And actually, Jennifer's getting used to cool. Yeah, Jennifer's getting used to making time to let me come and do this streaming stuff. Which, my God, man, the one thing it definitely does is it gives me time to sit down and draw. And sometimes I have a very hard time finding the time to do that. I got to do it every day. This way I at least do it 3 times a week. Alright. This one's not finished. But it is coming along nice. I'm going to tweak it a little bit and finish it up. And there's a lot of shadowing and shading and so forth that has to be done. But I'm not too unhappy with it. Let's put it that way. But I think I'm calling it quits for tonight. I am going to bed very shortly because I got to get up early. But Avery, I so much appreciate you coming on and chit-chatting with me. Please let everybody know when you do your next live stream. I'll definitely be there if I can. Got to get you to schedule them. You know, I really think if you did them like the same time I do mine, but on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, that'd be perfect. But I mean, whatever you want to do is what I'll follow along. So I like watching you. I like watching you color. I know you want to one day do live actual drawing ones, which will be even cooler. But whatever you want to do, I'm all for it. Dude, maybe I could get you. No. Maybe I could get you if we. Oh, what if? I mean, I already do these live streams dedicated pretty much 100% to Hero. What if you did some live streams that was dedicated to what we're going to do with Cornerstone? I mean, this may be weeks and weeks away, but like when you actually sit down to like do redesigns of the characters and all, do those as live streams, and it could be interesting. But once again, it's me and you working together, and a lot of it starts with me. And I realize that. I know that. It's absolutely a if I don't write diddly squat down, there's nothing to draw. So, but all right. Well, Avery, I appreciate you coming in and checking out. And anybody else out there who was watching, I hope you enjoyed. And we'll do more on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody, and talk at you soon. Thanks again, Avery.